Hi everyone, Carla here from Team Sessions. Welcome to today's webinar. It's going to be a great one because we'll be talking about our AppSumo success and how we hit nearly $1 million in sales and landed in AppSumo's all-time top 5. But before we dig into the AppSumo talkers, just a bit of housekeeping. This session will be recorded and posted to YouTube. So if you're not comfortable with that, then now is a good to hop out. And also, if you look at the bottom right of the screen, you'll see chat. So feel free to have discussions in there. And also my colleagues from Sessions will be there. So if you need help with anything or have questions, feel free to ask them. Down there, you'll also see something called Q&A, little button next to chat. So if you have any questions throughout the duration of this event, ask them in here and we will answer them later. I see quite a few people are still joining. But whilst we wait for them, I would love to find out a little bit more about you. So on screen, you'll now see a poll. Please, answer. Let's see. I would like to know who of you will be launching on AppSumo soon. Also, if my video is in the way, you can drag and move it. Oh, wow. I already see 7 people going to be launching soon. So I'm 8 more. I'm sure you'll find this webinar very useful then. Shall we just wait another minute for people to join? Wow, quite a lot of you will be launching on AppSumo. Good luck. May the force be with you. All righty. I think now would be a good time. Oh, I see some comments there in the chat. Nice. Now would be a good time to meet our speakers. So, just a second. With us today, we have Radu, who is the CEO and founder of Sessions. We have Alex, the head of growth and co-founder of Promocrat. And Promocrat handled all our marketing during our AppSumo campaign. And then we have Jarrett, who's the sales and partnership manager at AppSumo. So you can ask him all your AppSumo questions directly. And Savian, who's the head of our community at Sessions. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. We can't wait to learn from you. And first up, we have Radu from Sessions. And he's going to give us a quick overview of Sessions, as well as our AppSumo campaign, and share some insights and stats and numbers with you. Radu, over to you.
Yep. Hi, all. Thanks so much, Carla, for the intro. Amazing, as always. Hi, I'm Radu, the founder and the CEO of Sessions. And before entering into the details behind our AppSumo success, a little bit of background on Sessions. So we were founded in 2020 in Romania and incorporated in US in the same year. We are a team of 21 obsessed builder and lucky to be backed by great VCs, European VCs like Early Birds, Stride, and Launchpad. We are super mission driven and we have a super straightforward mission. We are building the world's first end-to-end meeting platform. We want to make meetings simpler than email. We want to enable our users to deploy and build, including webinars like this, in a instant. And we think that there is too much fragmentation in our meeting stack today, that we have too much friction, and the experience is not where we should be in our age. So On AppSumo, we launched sessions. Actually, we launched it in the summer of 2021 on Product Hunt, and we had a great reception. A important part of our community is with us since then. After our initial Product Hunt campaign, we kind of rapidly moved thinking that we want to launch on AppSumo, including we set up our first campaign for the end of 2021, but we canceled it. We realized that we need to put more work in all of the aspects of the business, narrative, positioning, product, community, in order to maximize as much as possible our campaign. So we canceled the 2021 AppSumo campaign, back to the drawing board, refined a lot of product, did 2 more Product Hunt launches, hundreds of user interviews, greatly improve our product and community play. Finally, we launched in July 2023, this year, a few months ago. Was it worthy? Absolutely yes. Top 5 all-time campaign, first campaigns on AppSumo. We had a total gross sales of 967K, a super good refund rate, half versus the median on AppSumo, almost 5,000 transactions with an average order value of almost $200, almost double than the average. But more than numbers, because numbers are only a small part of the entire AppSumo experience. The feedback that we've got in the last few months for sessions was literally priceless on the product side and the go-to-market side. Amazing people in the hundreds join our community and sessions mission. We are more driven than ever after this campaign. The Sumo Link's energy is incredible. So it was super worthy. How we did it, I will let my colleagues to go into specifics on each side. I think that very importantly, we understood how AppSumo works. AppSumo, this is super important. We will learn the do's and don'ts. We planned and execute a great marketing campaign. Alex from Promocrat will help us with this. And as always, we placed community at our core. Sabjan, our head of community, will go into details on this. So next, Jarrett, thank you so much. Jarrett, you have the floor.
All right. Appreciate it. First of all, I want to thank the sessions team for having me. It's definitely an honor to be here. Really enjoyed working with their team throughout the course of the campaign, which, as you can see by some of the numbers that were shared, was absolutely incredible. I want to be clear that that's not, super common, right? That's an outlier. Like, we do have a lot of campaigns that succeed, and this one was one of the best of the year and one of the best we've ever had. So I wanted to take some time and kind of go through some tips and tricks and do's and don'ts. Really, if you are considering launching on AppSumo, if you already are going to launch on AppSumo and you're just kind of trying to get prepared and make sure that you guys have all your bases covered and to try to have the best experience possible, wanted to give some tips based on my experience. So to give you a little bit of background, I'm a senior sales and partnership manager here at AppSumo. So I've been doing this for about 4 years now. So I've literally talked to thousands of SaaS founders and companies over those 4 years. I've personally worked with over 400 launches on AppSumo. So when you're talking about AppSumo, most of what I'm going to be going through is our select campaigns. So that's where AppSumo is going out and promoting products, right? We're handpicking products that we feel are special, unique, exciting. We're going out, we're trying to get it in front of as many eyes as possible. And of course, convert as many people into customers as we can. There are options to list your own product in our marketplace. We call it self-listing. A lot of the kind of guidelines and the tips that I'll give are applicable to both, but just wanted to be clear that this is more geared towards a select launch like we went through with sessions. So I wanted to break out 3 different sections, right? Because there's different kind of stages of getting ready and having a great campaign. So there's the pre-launch when we're building up the campaign, kind of gearing up your team to be ready for the launch. There's during the campaign, right? As you're managing the new customers coming through, the deal page questions and views, and then post-launch, which is super important, right? We don't want to just have these launches for 30, 60 days and then, shake hands and leave our partners. Like, we want to see them succeed. We want to see them get to the next level in the business, continue growing and scaling, and leverage the launch and the new community that they built from the Sumo links to do so. So I'll give like 5 do's and don'ts for each of those 3 separate phases of the launch. I got a lot to cover. I'll try to get through it as quick as I can, but I think it'll be really valuable information for anyone that's, considering launching or is going to launch and is already, has that plan on the calendar in the future. So to start, the pre-launch, right? So basically, once we agree on an offer, we're going to run a select launch on AppSumo. We lock in a calendar date. We would start onboarding from there. So there's a few things based on my experience, based on what I've seen, that can really get a partner and get a company prepared to maximize the campaign and kind of be ready for what to expect. So number one, a do for the pre-launch is to communicate. And when I say communicate, our team is basically responsible for building out the campaign as part of, the select launch. So we have a team of copywriters, a video team, creative team. They're creating the deal page assets and all the marketing materials that are going to go out. There's a few deliverables we do need from you as a team to give us in order to effectively build out the campaign on our end. So we need communication. We can't have partners go in and, get on the calendar and then we don't hear from them, right? They're not communicating. They're not asking questions. They're not working on some of the material we need. So communication is huge. Number 2 would be hitting deadlines. There are a few deliverables that we need to stay on track to launch on time. So just making sure that you're clear on what's expected and when the deadlines are, and not waiting until the last second to start working on materials that we need. Number 3 for the do's pre-launch would be implementing feedback. So as part of the onboarding process for Select specifically, we do have a team of, we call the beta link team. So they're expert testers, basically testing products that are going to launch on AppSumo, or we are considering, getting on our calendar, and they're providing very, specific advice and expertise on different things you can do to improve your product, right? Feature requests, integrations, bugs and issues, and UI and UX commentary. So really trying to polish up the product and get it to a spot where everybody's confident that once it launches, the perception will be very positive and the Zoomlings are going to love what they see and be easy to get, set up and going on their end. So that brings me to number 4 is preparing, right? Preparing your team, making sure support is ready for not only the increase in activity you'll see through your own internal channels, but also making sure you're ready for the deal page, because that is facing. Other Zoomlings are going to see how you're interacting with the community. So it's super important to try to get to those questions and respond to every review as quick as possible. And then the last thing we always recommend is have a roadmap, right? You might already have a public roadmap. Sometimes it's only private. You don't share it publicly. If that's the case, that's okay. We just recommend having some kind of an outlet for Zoomlings to give feedback. So instead of having everything siloed in emails and like support tickets, like send them to a public Trello board or something like that. Maybe a tool you get on AppSumo for collecting that feedback, allowing people to upvote certain features or integrations that they want. It's a great way to give an outlet for that feedback and then prioritize based on how much people are asking for certain things and being able to spot trends. So that's the do list. The don't list pre-launch. Don't ghost, right? After you get an agreement signed, you get on the calendar. Don't disappear from our Slack that we use. Don't, not answer any emails or WhatsApp messages. I've had to chase partners down before because they think once I get on the calendar, we're good to go. But that's not the case. There's work that needs to be done to get ready to launch. So make sure you're communicating with the team. Kind of comes back to that last point about communication. Don't ghost us. Like, we're here to help. We're here to have a successful campaign and, help your business succeed. Number 2 is don't ignore the documentation. We have a ton of resources that we've built out to make it super clear what we need from your team to be able to complete our campaign build. Need to get ready for it to succeed. So if you're not really looking at any of that, you're just putting yourself, at a disadvantage when it comes time to launch. Number 3 would be missing deadlines, of course. We do have specific deadlines on when we need certain things from your team. So make sure those deadlines are clear. We do specify those in our emails we send out, in the product management tool we use for onboarding. So everything's clear. So make sure you're checking those. You understand when things are due, so we don't have to chase you down and bug you to try to get things in. Number 4 would be, don't try to change the deal, right? When we sign an agreement, we basically have an offer that we're confident the Zoomlings will love. So it's tough to come back and go, hey, we want to cut these in half. We want to remove this feature. Like, we got approval based on what we had agreed to. So changing the deal up significantly is going to make it difficult to remain on the calendar, right? So keep that in mind. We can make potentially tweaks, but usually making the deal better, making things more clear. We don't want to be in a position to, have a very significantly less appealing offer, right, than we originally agreed to. And then the last don't, number 5, would be don't be super controlling over the content. I know it's sometimes a struggle because the founders and the teams we work with are very protective of their brands, and we totally understand that. But at the end of the day, we are telling our audience why we like the product and why we chose it. And we have our kind of own unique brand voice in the way of doing things and kind of the jokes we put in the deal page. So we want that to come through. And if a partner is trying to control everything and trying to have things exactly how they would say it, somebody can go to your website and see what you have to say about your own tool. They come to AppSumo to see like why we chose that. So just keep that in mind. We can definitely do revisions and kind of correct inaccuracies, but we want to make sure that at the end of the day, it's how we would kind of describe your product. So that brings you on to the during campaign do's and don'ts. The do, number 1 is listen to the community. You're going to get feedback. You're going to get potentially, criticism, right? You want to be ready for everything and make sure you're prepared to kind of handle, how to respond to certain feedback. It's one of the best parts about launching on AppSumo, the community, right? They want to be vocal. They want to be heard. They want to help you improve. So keep that in mind and make sure you are listening and responding to that feedback. Number 2 is ask for reviews. As I'm sure a lot of you have seen, reviews are huge on AppSumo. A lot of people use the review section as a way to get, social proof and kind of see what others think about the tool before you make your decision to buy as a customer. So make sure you're asking for reviews, and we can't incentivize. We have to ask for honest feedback. But just asking is half the battle. It's going to increase the amount of reviews you get on your page, which will help with sales and getting more reviews. So it snowballs from there. So internal support channels, automated emails after somebody activates and starts using the tool, have opportunities to ask for those reviews and make it easy for them to click, go back to the deal page and leave their feedback. Number 3 would be consider deal changes if applicable. We do our best to try to have the best deal possible on launch day. Sometimes, honestly, we miss the mark. There might be certain things that are unclear. Maybe the limits are a bit off. Maybe, certain feature just, in the wrong spot on different tiers, whatever. We don't need to say, yes to every request or every requested deal change from the community, but sometimes minor tweaks here and there can really make or break a campaign. And sometimes we don't really know what the reception is going to be like until we actually launch. So it is possible to make tweaks. So we can definitely, help consult our partners on, does this tweak make sense? Is it going to move the needle? Or is it probably something that's not really sustainable and isn't really going to affect or make or break the campaign? 4th thing would be promote your own deal, right? We are promoting a deal, obviously, as part of a select campaign, but the best partners are the ones that are also promoting. We see a lot of partners promoting to their own lists, right? Free trials that never converted to paid. Great opportunity to send the deal out, use your affiliate link, make commission on that on top of your rev share. It's a no-brainer. Churn customers, another easy win. They used to be a subscriber, now they're not. Great way to get them back on the platform and to pay something. And then the last one for the do during the campaign is keep improving, right? You don't want to launch and just kind of have the product stagnate. You want to keep releasing features and listening to the feedback and the feature requests and launch stuff and improve the product during the launch. It's going to help with excitement during the campaign and show the Zoomling community that you are actively listening and improving the product as you go. And it's indicative of the future, right? People want to see their investments and the products that they buy on AppSumo improve over time. The don'ts during the campaign, don't get defensive. You are going to get constructive criticism. not everything's, sunshine and rainbows. So we always recommend killing with kindness. Like, you want to understand that Zoomlings are trying to help, right? They're trying to help you improve, help recommend features that would help them better in their workflow and implement it in their business. So I know it's tough when you've put your blood, sweat, and tears into a tool to maybe get defensive on certain like critiques, but at the end of the day, it's helping you guys improve and helping your business and tool get to the next level and really stand out amongst the crowd. So we're here to support. If there's difficult situations, we always want to be looped in and help advise or even jump in and kind of help with certain customers. But be prepared, right? It's not all going to be positive feedback. We want to be ready and receptive to that feedback. Also, don't overpromise. That's number 2. A lot of feature requests. It's tough to kind of get caught up in the excitement, want to like say yes to everything, add everything to your roadmap, and kind of promise everything's going to be done in the future. But a lot of times that's not feasible. So really evaluate. Try not to overpromise and then not be able to deliver at the end of the day. We don't want to, be seen as kind of trying to bait and switch people. So number 3 is don't stress about day-to-day performance. It definitely goes in waves. There's spikes in activity. There's lulls in activity as certain marketing initiatives kick in. You'll see an up and down swing in performance when emails go out, ads are running, things like that. So at the end of the campaign is usually when it gets the most busy. So I usually recommend partners just kind of give it some time and see how things are evolving and not worry too much that, one day was significantly lower than the next day, because it is very common to have those wild swings. But overall, we hope to have a very successful launch when the numbers are said and done. Number 4 is important. Don't go MIA, right? Missing in action on the deal page. If you see a deal page and the partner's not very responsive, they're not answering any questions at all for days or weeks at a time, like, you're going to lose trust as a customer. So try to be as active as possible. You don't need, 2-minute response times or anything, but should be checking daily and responding to questions as quick as you can. Even if it's not, then you can answer right that second, approve it, and have everyone else be able to see it, and then get to it when you can, because other Zoomlings can jump in and help answer questions, or they have the same question, so they won't ask again. They'll wait to see how you respond to that one. Getting short on time, I'll try to breeze through the rest of these. Number 5 for don'ts during the campaign is don't be, I want to use the word shady. I know no partner wants to be intentionally shady, but sometimes transparency can be a little bit questionable. So make sure that you're honest with the community. Like, they love transparency, honesty. If a certain feature doesn't make sense, be honest about it and why. Don't try to overpromise to try to get more sales and not be able to deliver. Just make sure you're as candid, as transparent as possible, because the community really appreciates that. And then post-launch, the do's. Post-launch is really important. We want you guys to leverage your launch. Can you growing, not just kind of like run a 30-day, 60-day launch and then, okay, and that was a cool experience. Like, how best to leverage the launch. So number 1 for the do, grow your community, right? Add Zoomlings into a Facebook group, into Discord, into wherever that you collect and have customers interact with each other. You don't want them siloed. You want them to collaborate. You want them to bounce ideas off each other. So there's a bunch of case studies we have. You can look on our blog. We have case studies. I would check out the one from Phrase. They went from like 100 or 130 customers and like users in their Facebook group to like over 7,000 in like a month. So get them into a community and engage with that community repeatedly, consistently. You're going to get a lot in the long term from that. Number 2 for the do's, create add-ons, right? If a Zoomling buys a lifetime deal, they have certain limitations, certain feature access. If you have something released in the future that isn't necessarily included in that particular plan or tier that they bought, there's some add-on opportunities. There is kind of a balance, right? Because some Zoomlings, or most Zoomlings, when they buy a deal, they want to get benefit from being an early adopter and seeing the product improve. The feedback they give, they should benefit from at some point. So yeah, certain features are to be included based on what we map the plan to as far as retail plans, but there's some things that are maybe more enterprise type or more advanced or more costly through like third-party APIs, and it might make sense to do kind of a discounted add-on. So think through that. Chat with the AppSumo team. What add-ons make sense? And it's a good way to generate recurring revenue after the launch. Number 3 would be creating affiliates and referral partners out of Zoomlings. A lot of them will continue sharing your product. So if you're incentivizing them to do so, they're more likely to continue promoting and talking about it and marketing it for you, being compensated for it. So that's another thing. Number 4 would be gather and distribute reviews, right? You'll get reviews on your AppSumo campaign. Ask Simlinks to leave G2 reviews and Capterra reviews. If you're launching on Product Hunt, ask them to leave Product Hunt reviews or upvotes. A lot of those reviews are going to continue driving eyeballs and traffic and helping with buyers' decisions when they're researching tools in your category in the future. And number 5 is come back to AppSumo, right? We love partners that come back. They run repeat campaigns. They come back for Last Call and Black Friday and Sumo Day and Plus Exclusive. There's a lot of options to work together again for mainly like the top performers. That's who we normally would have back. And Simlinks always ask, like, when are you coming back? When are you coming back? So there's always potentially an opportunity, depending on how the campaign went, to come back in some way, and we can get really creative with how that looks, right? Show off the new features that you've implemented over the last 6 months, that a lot of which you got from the community. It's an awesome thing to do. And then finally, I know I'm running a little long, but I want to get through these for you guys. The don'ts post-launch. Obviously, don't abandon Simlinks, right? They invested in your company. They purchased lifetime access for, certain limitations, certain features. Don't remove features that were promised as part of the deal. Don't, cut limits in half that were promised as part of the deal. Not going to really go over well, and kind of ruin the excitement and ruin the willingness for the community to want to see you grow and to promote you and share and talk about you guys to their network and others that might benefit from your tool. So that brings me to number 2. Don't leave us in the dark on like big updates, big, changes to retail plans, maybe like repositioning of a product. We want to be there to help. So if there's communication you need to send out from to the customer, and it might, end up coming back to us where there's some confusion, like, we want to make sure that you're conveying it appropriately. So you're not asking for permission to change plan names or to adjust your retail plans. That happens all the time in SaaS. It's just more like, hey, as our partner, like, keep us in the loop. Make sure that if we're getting questions and tickets from the Simlinks about changes to your plans, that we can help, and we're prepared to help answer those questions, and not having to, hit you up and go, hey, what's going on? And we're kind of in the dark. So keep us in the loop. We're here for you. We're your partner forever. Number 3 is, kind of coming back to number 1. Don't take away features that were promised. Sometimes a product might sunset a feature where it's not like a core, valuable feature or really anything that's being used in the product, which, let us know if that's going to happen, just so we're prepared. But we're more so talking about core features that were promised, like people bought the tool because of this feature, and then you're pulling it away. It's going to cause a lot of tickets, going to cause a lot of potentially bad reviews. Like, we want to make sure that we're, keeping the community happy, and like not bait and switching and, removing things that we had promoted. 4, don't stop improving. Keep developing, right? Don't just have an awesome campaign and then not release a new feature for 6 months, right? People bought because they, want to invest early and get feedback and see the product improve and more features are added. So keep developing, right? Don't just walk away or kind of get complacent just because a launch was successful. And then finally, don't get deal happy, right? Some of you guys might have seen tools that launch on, 10 different deal sites, and they have all these things running, and it gets kind of confusing. And oftentimes there's like a perception that, oh, they might be struggling, or they can't, generate recurring revenue. It's not wise to just launch a bunch of LTDs all over the place on the internet. It'll kill excitement. It'll cause kind of the distrust or kind of confusion why a company needs to do this. So there is opportunity to come back to AppSumo. So definitely reach out to us if there is interest there. But I just want to make sure people are aware that, bound around different deal sites, that we've seen it have a pretty negative effect. So just wanted to kind of caution against that. But apologies for taking a little bit too long. I did want to get through all of those, so you guys kind of prepare as best you can, or can kind of get a little bit more insight into if you are thinking about launching, what that might look like and what you might need to focus on.
Great. Hi, everyone. Thanks, Jarrett, for the presentation. Thanks, Rado. Thanks, Carla, for the intro. It's nice to see so many new faces and names, in the chat. I think this definitely is an important achievement for sessions, but also for us as a community. And it's nice to share it with the community. And of course, it's marketing can be a lot. It's also good that we stop for a bit and look into the lessons that we can have from a campaign like this. There were lessons for us too. We didn't know them going into the campaign, but we learned them as we went and after finishing. And I hope that they can be valuable for everyone in the chat, including those launching an AppSumo soon. So marketing can be a lot, and of course, as in any scenario, it can what you must do in terms of tactics and also strategy can differ from business to business, from SaaS to SaaS. And I've tried to boil down our takeaways in a more general fashion, and I will start with the takeaways. So we'll build a conversation from this. Our 3 key takeaways for doing a successful launch in AppSumo would be these: having a good product and a good deal, having a community as your #1 channel, and planning and acting ahead, not winging it, like Jarrett also pointed out earlier. Just before going into each of these 3 areas, there is a checklist that you should check out. You'll have this presentation. You can just get this link or just copy paste it into the browser. There's a 50-point checklist that you should look at when launching an AppSumo, and most of this checklist kind of has to deal with marketing. So before anything else, go and check out this checklist. It's on the AppSumo blog. It's written in a form of a case study with another successful launch, and we did go through it before launching, and it did help us a lot. But going to the key areas, good product, good deal. Seems obvious, right? That you should have a good product, good deal. But actually, I want to just point it out in relation to marketing, how it works with marketing. I saw copy paste the link. I'll do it quickly here. Sorry. Maybe someone can copy paste the link for me. A good product, good deal kind of works like this, or this is how we saw it. So basically, if you have a good product and a good deal, marketing is of course necessary, but you're on your way to that successful campaign. Whether it's 1 million or 100K, you're all set for success. That's the #1 factor for success, having both of these, both a good product and a good deal. That makes marketing's job easy, predictable, and it's what actually fuels the campaign success, first of all. Missing one of them, so missing a good product or missing a good deal, and we have seen even our competitors with such kind of launches. This is where marketing can make a difference between no marketing or good and well thought out marketing. So that's where you can actually make a difference with marketing when you don't necessarily have the best deal, or maybe you have a very good deal but don't necessarily have the strongest product. And the left side scenario, when you have a weak product or weak deal, that's when basically marketing won't do anything. So any penny you invest, any hour you invest in marketing, it won't move the needle. And I think it's really important to get this as a prerequisite, having a good product and having a good deal, having both of them actually. And generally, when you do this, when you have a good product and you have a good deal, this is where you actually have chances to go towards AppSumo Select, which if you want to have a successful campaign, you can do it, I think, on regular AppSumo. I myself have seen examples, but not this size of success. Plus, AppSumo Select does have a lot of advantages. I mean, Jarrett and the team really helped us a lot with all the assets, with the deal page, with insights on how to do marketing, with support, and of course, it does give you more exposure. Much more exposure in the AppSumo community, which is not something that you can do by yourself, and actually more trust going forward. A good product and a good deal, especially in that combination, also helps build out FOMO, fear of missing out. You'll find out, I can tell you, but you'll find out for yourself that working with FOMO and with this AppSumo FOMO is one of the best things you can do to your own advantage in this campaign, because it is scarcity, right? It is limited for a time. You might not get that deal again. So that's how people decide on actually buying from AppSumo and not just waiting for a future release. And AppSumo, with a good product, with a good deal, is a good opportunity to nurture a strong community, to actually bring your community together and expand that with new people. So the key channels that people decide on your product and your deal that you should and assets that you should have prepared are the AppSumo page and hero video. This is where, of course, it's a collaborative work between you and the AppSumo team if you're on Select. Building that public product roadmap, which is, from what I understand, is usually left aside, but it's very important. People that actually buy your product want to see what your plans for the future are. So they're usually buying into something that's very early on and taking a risk themselves doing that purchase, and they want to see what the future brings and how their LTD will grow in the future with new features. Also doing demo videos on your video channels, and as Jarrett said, peer review platforms. People do check them out. They check out the AppSumo page reviews, and they also check out external reviews like Gartner, G2, Capterra. So make sure that those are in order. Okay, so now that we have the number one out of the way, number two, community is your number one channel. So you might plan for a lot of marketing activities, but understand that fostering community spirit and this product-led growth kind of scenario is what can actually lead you to AppSumo success, because you'll see in a minute what kind of mechanisms are enforced here. But first of all, community should be perceived through the lens of both internal, which are your own users, customers, partners on channels that you control, and also the external community. So like external groups of people that share interests with your product, or maybe just with your campaign, how they're doing an AppSumo campaign. Just looking at internal community, which is the easier one to look at, but definitely highly important. I've mapped out things that you might know, like email subscribers, social media channels, review platforms, a Slack Discord channel, and the customer success team. Mapped it out on an axis. So to the left, you have high broadcast potential. So these are channels that you basically just put a message out there, and people from your user base see that message. And the right side is more high dialogue potential. So this is where people can communicate back with you, and of course, they can communicate with others among themselves. So what's important to note here is that on the left side, everything is essential to do. So you should be doing everything on this list, and even others that you might find useful. But on the left side, you have the things that you must do. You can just do them good enough. But on the right side, you really have to put effort into it. And the better you are on these dialogue channels, the more potential you have for getting viral, for getting shared, and for actually getting strong support from your community for this campaign. And yeah, you have this customer success team that I put here because what I saw in the sessions customer success team was unbelievable in this period. If you had asked me if it's possible to do this at this scale, I would have said no. We need more time. It's impossible with the team that we have to solve this many comments, demos, and discussions. Just on AppSumo, and this is just one channel, we had more channels. Just on AppSumo, we had 9,000 reviews and questions. And during the campaign, there were 450 live demos of the product with people coming from AppSumo. So you can imagine that's a lot. That's a lot to come to your product, your business in a short amount of time. But yeah, that's why this customer success team is actually part of your internal community channels. So external communities, this is something that you should definitely look into really ahead of time. First of all, you have the AppSumo community, which if you're in the Select, you also get a lot of support on this because, okay, it's the AppSumo traffic, but it's also their email subscribers and even dedicated groups like the Slack channel or Facebook group. The one that really helped us a lot were the LTD communities. They are part of the AppSumo marketing guide too, but we've had a relationship for a long time with lifetime deal communities, not necessarily AppSumo related. So there are a lot of lifetime deal communities out there, over 50 Facebook groups that we've worked with along the time. Of course, some we're closer than we're others, and we really do have a strong stance there. You'll see in a minute what we've did along the time. And these LTD communities are basically Facebook groups, most of them, but they also have additional channels like Discord, newsletter, websites. But I would argue that in the case of sessions, the long-term game was played in this for building up towards AppSumo. But of course, there might be other channels too. Like AppSumo affiliates is super important. If you can harness the power of affiliates, it can be very, very strong. They come naturally too. So once you launch and you have a successful campaign, you do start to get listed on YouTube channels, on groups. People do start to share your link because that's affiliate marketing. But if you can harness this on yourself, your own intention, that's really cool. And of course, other channels might be here, but just look at this external community kind of framework. And there is also a viral loop that we've seen with external communities. So when you see your product deal shared in an external community, of course, a new user finds out about this deal, and they do one of many things. They can try out the product, they can buy the deal, or even become part of the internal community. So when they do this, any of these or a combination of these, they start to get product sympathy. They actually start becoming part of the internal community and become an ambassador. And what we've seen is that these people are the ones that, again, post another external community about sessions. And that generates this viral loop on the right-hand side. On the left-hand side, usually we also have affiliates that, okay, find out about the product from external community and post in another external community. So there's a lot of ways to actually generate these viral loops in an AppSumo campaign with community in mind. So again, saying that word over and over, but that's the number one way you can be successful in this. So key activities here, announcements, constant updates. We've done giveaways actually ahead of time just to build this community sympathy and to bring users in. Webinars, events, like even just like this one, and of course, always being active, responding to messages, to comments with your own team in these communities. So last and not least, planning and acting ahead, not winging it. I put here a cheat sheet, like what you should be doing on each of your stages, let's say. So you have this pre-launch stage, which I would say should be at least 2 months. So don't leave yourself less than 2 months to prepare, because you might think that doing the assets is easy peasy, especially if AppSumo is helping you, but building the community is not easy. Building the community might take years if you don't have it. So give yourself at least a couple of months if you don't have the years to spare. I won't go through all of these. You'll have the slides and you'll be able to read them. But actually, big launch prep at least 3 weeks before. Between launch day, you must know that FOMO is really important once again, and launch day and the days coming up afterwards, I would say a week. And this is valid not just for AppSumo, for any launch campaign, for Kickstarter, for Republic crowdfunding. Momentum is everything. So the more momentum you build up, the more fear of missing out you build up with people on this early stage, the more successful your campaign is. So I think this early stage and just before the campaign end, those are the key moments that you really want to plan your most important marketing activities. And of course, Jarrett also went through what you should be doing post-launch in a lot of scenarios. So just to give you an example of how we did community in sessions, and it wasn't just for AppSumo, it was for our own community purposes, but it really did fuel a lot of what the success on AppSumo, but it was a 2-year-long effort. So like Rado said, we initially planned to launch in 2021. So that's when we actually started working on community efforts, internal and external. Of course, we wanted to build a better product too, but actually we used this time to build a better community and actually did a lot of things in these LTD communities. First of all, not only, we also did in tech communities, but in LTD community, we had a very, very special relationship. Like we did giveaways. We even did free giveaways. Like you just had to sign up in the beginning. If you believed in sessions, you were one of the first users, you would get a free LTD. Just for believing it. This was something amazing, and it got us a lot of appreciation in the community. And then we had some people that had 12 months for free. We did actions to upgrade them for free to LTDs. So we did giveaways a lot. We were very generous in these communities, but it did pay off, like we see. we had successful campaigns with these communities. Like we won product of the hunt, product hunt product of the day, and even product of the year in 2022. So this we did with these communities. So we didn't do it on our own. We didn't do it through ads or traditional marketing. We did it with community. We did events in the community, multiple events for the AppSumo launch. It's indeed, Jenny, it seemed like such a long time ago, but all of this built up to the success that we had now. We even did tease that we'll be doing LTDs, and you probably know that we have talked about LTDs in these communities. We even did the G2 review campaign with this AppSumo launch. So we use this context to actually fuel our G2 that fuels AppSumo again. And this in turn did generate a lot of fear of missing out. So whenever we would talk about the sessions LTD, like a giveaway or even doing LTD, people were very, very excited. So this was something that is very rewarding to see, because you actually see people fall in love with a product. And you can see, like, even when admins ask, okay, how is sessions LTD standing up in time, 84% of people still consider it a gem. So you can check out the comments, check out the groups. Probably some of you are from the groups and know what I'm talking about, and I actually feel this for sessions, but it's really nice to feel it on the other side too. So yeah, those are our 3 key takeaways. Of course, there's a lot you can do. You can ask in the questions. I encourage you to ask any specific questions you might have in the Q&A section. But for the moment, that's all from me. I'll leave it to Savian to tell us even more about community.
Thank you, Alex. Hello, everybody. I'm so happy to be with you today and see so many sessions friends here. Okay, so I hope you can see my slides. For us, the AppSumo launch was the beginning of a beautiful friendship, and this is something that we cherish a lot, because during the AppSumo launch, we received an impressive number of reviews, positive reviews. Most of them were positive reviews, as Alex and Jarrett said, on AppSumo, on G2, even on Product Hunt still. So people seem to love sessions, and for us, this is the most important thing. And I want, as Alex said, to give you some takeaways. So for us, what is really important is how to build a great product. So in order to build a great product, we discovered that you have to create a vibrant community, you have to gather feedback, and it's very important to develop based on that feedback. So when this combines with an AppSumo launch, you will see that AppSumo will absolutely massively boost them all. Your community will grow stronger. The feedback will be tough to manage, but it will be essential for your development. And if you are able to develop just in time, as Jarrett said, you have to show Sumo Links that you are doing what they are asking. Then, without a doubt, you will have a fantastic product down the road. Then, what's happened is that just a second, we understood since day one that for us is the most important thing, our community. And in order to grow our product, we relied on community-led growth and product-led growth, and they propelled us to attain escape velocity. So for us, community was not an afterthought. And the AppSumo launch absolutely exponentially expanded our horizons. Besides that, today we absolutely understand that community powers our growth and is unequivocally the most important element that pushes us forward. So when we talk about our product, first we talk about our people, our users, and thanks to AppSumo, our paying customers, they are the ones who float our boat. So an AppSumo launch will absolutely help you bring a lot of people inside your product. Then when you start building a SaaS project, probably the most important thing that you have to discover is product market fit. And an AppSumo launch will show you big time how to refine the product. And this is the key here, because your product might not be perfect, but with their help, you will start to discover signs of product market fit. And when you are building a SaaS product, you have to answer to these questions. How do you know what to build? How do you know what to prioritize? So in essence, how do you know that you are on the right path? And as far as we know, the answer is simple. You alone don't know. So the AppSumo launch opened for us new perspectives and showed us how to grow sessions. Another very important thing when building a product is, in order to discover if you are solving a real problem, you have to, exactly as Steve Blank famously said, get out of the building, which means you have to start with some customer discovery. And doing that on AppSumo will push your product massively out of the building, but not only your product, also your team. So you will discover new needs, new angles, new issues, new perspectives. This is something that we cherish a lot here at Sessions. And we performed a lot of listening to Sumo links. So we understood doing this that customer discovery is much more than just sales. So you don't just go out there and try to sell your idea, your product, or your demo. You have to perform a lot of listening. And when you are listening, even though Jarrett knows this and we know this, Sumo links can be harsh, can be mean, can be aggressive. But when you do listen to what they are actually saying, you will understand that doing customer discovery in this way, you can actually build better your community. And if you are able to iterate over and over in this dialogue, you will discover what is true, what is meaningful, and what is valuable. Sorry. So what we really understood from the Sumo links was their real needs. What's happening? Okay, so the real needs, the value Sessions brings compared to similar products who launched on AppSumo and others who are well-known in video conferencing market. So then we understood what are our most appreciated features and what features to build in the future. We discovered our unique selling points and the difference between what we thought was important versus what truly matters for our users. Also, on AppSumo, we discovered how pricing and packaging should be made. And also we discovered some customer profiles that will allow us to be able to sell better in the future. So I missed this slide before, but this is very important. On AppSumo, we frequently saw this kind of discussion. People told us that it's too bad that we are not building X and Y because that is their problem. So the main takeaway here is that on AppSumo, communication is key. So you have to be open, honest, and you have to go with direct conversations as often as possible. So our community always let us know what they want us to build, what to improve, or what to drop. And we always asked why. So then they explain the reasoning. They explain the use cases. So we were able to gather this feedback, and start the co-creation process. The co-creation process is essential for a SaaS business today. So it was this continuous ping pong that took sessions from just an idea to a product with paying customers, and AppSumo launch really augmented our reality. Good. So for us, the community is as powerful as the cane is for a blind person. It really shows us the way forward. And we have this flywheel here at Sessions. Everything starts with our community. Then they test the product. They give it a spin. They play with it. They offer us feedback. We develop based on that feedback. And the product comes back to the community and they tell us what we should do next. And we are now in the best situation ever, thanks to our community. This is absolutely amazing. And our community is in its best shape ever, courtesy of AppSumo. So as I told you, the AppSumo launch for us was the beginning of a beautiful friendship. And this is my takeaway for you. When you are trying to develop a great product, rely on community, rely on feedback, and develop based on what they are saying. Thanks a million. Carla, you are muted, I guess.
I'm sorry. I was just saying thank you so much, everyone. And write your questions. If you haven't done so already, we'll be answering them now. Oh, we've got quite a lot of questions. Let's start. Will we get a recording of this event? Yes, I'm assuming everyone will be able to access it in Sessions memory, and we'll also upload it to YouTube. Will Sessions have the ability to do all automatic webinars? Yes, that's coming, right? It's on the roadmap. Jarrett, if time permits, could you please list out the things that's required by your team to ensure things run smoothly for the launch?
Yeah, that would probably take an hour. There's quite a bit, right? So I think it would depend on specifically what you're looking for. I can speak a little bit more to onboarding requirements. So I put a little bit of a response here in the chat if you guys want to kind of read through that. But during onboarding, like I said, we are building campaign out, but there's some things that we need our partners to deliver to be able to, build out the campaign. So there's two main forms that we need. There's some more like action items that we have for partners, but like the two main forms with specific deadlines are what we call a content form. And then we have another form called a success form. So the content form is basically your opportunity to tell us about the product, give us logo files, product screenshots, use cases, the important features, differentiators, integrations, things like that. And then our content team, our copywriters, take that and use it as a starting point to create the copy that goes on the page, to create the video script, all the creative assets that we're doing for the emails and the ads and everything that'll be used for the promotion. So we want to make sure we're conveying the appropriate things and positioning the tool properly. And that's like your opportunity to do that. So we'll be building everything, but we want you guys to be involved and give us an effective and accurate starting to be able to create everything. So that's content form. The success form is the redemption. So most select launches are redeemed through, we call it licensing redemption, and it works through an API. So if you bought tools on AppSumo, you may have bought a tool that you had to enter an email on AppSumo. It redirected you to the partner's onboarding, landing page, whatever. You create your account, and then through the API, it tells the platform what tier you bought, what limits, features you should have, and it's available instantly. in the history of AppSumo, it's been primarily done by codes where you have to buy one code or maybe 10 codes, right? Depending on the deal. And one by one, you have to enter those codes, which is a bit tedious and a little bit, of a manual process. So the reason we launched licensing is to, make it a little bit more frictionless to get going and not have to like manually copy paste codes. There is still that option for Select if we decide we want to go that route, but most of it's done through licensing. So that's what the success form is. You basically build out this flow. You submit the form to tell us, hey, this is, the plan IDs and everything we built in the API. Then our team takes that, goes in, tests it in a live environment to make sure everything's working correctly. If there's any action items, we'll reach out to your team and say, hey, we're getting this error, or hey, you need to change this or adjust this. So that all happens during onboarding. There's a ton of other resources in our onboarding project management tool. We use FreeCamp, which funny enough is live in the store right now. We worked with them a few years ago. We're like, oh, this is cool. This would work perfect for our partner onboarding. So we've been using it for years, and now they're back in the store for a limited time. So check them out, but that's what we use internally to help onboard partners and keep everything on track.
Cool. There's another one for you, Jarrett. What percentage of sales does AppSumo keep?
Yeah, I mean, it depends. There's a few ways to get on AppSumo. So AppSumo Select, the rev share mainly depends on the duration of the campaign. With self-listing, we can definitely pay out higher revenue share just because we're not building the page out, right? With a self-listing, you would be responsible for creating your page, putting in the copy. You can embed your own videos. You can embed your own product screenshots. So it's not like that white glove experience like with Select, where AppSumo's team is handling all that. So that coupled with there's really no guaranteed proactive marketing done by AppSumo for self-listings. There's opportunities to earn like email shout outs, like posts on Facebook, things like that based on performance and reviews coming through, but it's not kind of locked in from the beginning like Select. So we can pay out higher anywhere, like it starts at 50% for at least right now for marketplace submissions and goes up from there depending on several factors. And then self-listing right now, 20 to 25% for first time launches. For repeat campaigns or flash sales, things like that, there's some wiggle room. So the reason for that is purely like we have significant costs invested, right? So we want to make sure that, we're not in the red on a campaign. So like we have to hit a certain performance threshold just to kind of cover our costs and break even, since we spend 45 to 60 days. I saw this is another question that might come up. What's the typical time from, locking in a date to launching? Around 45 to 60 days for full Select. And then maybe a little bit quicker if we can do some other creative things. I don't want to get too much into it, but you can gauge about 6 to 8 weeks from agreement signed, let's get on the calendar, to when we actually go live. So hopefully that answers the question. But to summarize, like a lot of different factors. So it's tough to say exactly unless we know, the tool category, the deal structure, self-listing versus Select, how long it's running. There's a lot of variables that we work with.
Right. I think you pretty much just answered this one, but how long does the process take from the selling request to the launch?
Yeah, so I guess selling request would be, I would define that as like the official date issuance, right? So we get an agreement signed. I go to the team, pitch, hey, let's get this tool on for X day. This is an open spot we have. So once that happens, we would basically start onboarding right away. You'd probably get all the invites into FreeCamp and the resources, the emails, invites into our Slack that we use to communicate with partners that day or the next day. And that's when onboarding kicks off. All the deadlines are set from that onboarding date. So at minimum 45 right now. It's very unlikely we'd lock in a Select launch earlier. And it's almost impossible right now because we're booking into like December, January right now.
Sure. It's another one for you, Jarrett. Any documents we can refer to get more details on the process and requirements?
Yeah, so we do have, and you can probably even Google it. We have some requirements to list in the marketplace, and then Select would, of course, be a little bit different. I don't think there's anything public facing that I can share for Select, but probably, wouldn't be too helpful until we got to the point of, hey, we're going to run this select campaign. And at that point, you can just work with myself or one of the other, partnership managers to provide that clarity. I always like make sure things are super clear, like from the first chat, just so that the partners know what to expect, even before we like get the process rolling, just to make sure there's no snags or, hiccups during the, during the onboarding. Everyone should be pretty clear on what we need during that process. So I would say, just communicate if it gets to that point with your partnership manager, and they'll provide, all the documentation, anything you need. We just don't have anything public facing I can share a link for at the moment.
Right. Okay, I would like an exact blueprint of how this webinar is put together, including agenda and background. This is perfect, and I can never get mine to look like this. Oh, well, this was a team effort. I guess.
I think we should do, Carla, we should do a blog post on this, actually.
Or a YouTube video.
Or a YouTube video, both maybe, also to push some assets.
Yeah.
But
so
yeah.
Maybe if Adriana could put a link to our YouTube channel in the chat, and of course our blog posts as well, our resources page, and then we will put this on our to-do list and create this for you so you can see what we did. Alrighty. Does AppSumo do the affiliate connections, or do we have to do it?
That's a good question. So I would say potentially a little bit of both. So I always recommend my partners reach out to the customers and the Zoomlings they got coming in from the deal. And if they already have an affiliate program, great. If they want to create one, like you can literally build an affiliate program from the Zoomling community and basically just, have communications going out that says, hey, we have our affiliate program, like here's the commission structure, provide assets for them to make it super easy where they can go out and, banners and post creatives and whatever to drive people to the site to sign up and get tracked and compensated for it. So you can recruit from the customers you get from your campaign. And then in certain circumstances, like if we have like crazy affiliates that we're doing an extremely good job promoting a tool, there's potential introductions that can be made. It's not something that we routinely do, but like by request, if it makes sense, like we can look into some of the data and say, hey, like we had this affiliate or these affiliates that were driving a ton of traffic, and it might be a long-term relationship, right? Where we can see if they're interested, connect you guys, and they can continue promoting.
Our most upvote question of the day: does Savian ever sleep? Savian is my vampire friend. I can tell you he never sleeps. Savian, would you like to answer that?
I would like to sleep, yes.
No time.
No time, no. I will sleep when the Christmas comes.
Nice. How far out are evergreen webinars? I'm not sure.
I think they will be ready until the end of the year, most probably. We will have a initial version for the end of the year.
Cool. Any plans to have Brazilian Portuguese language? I will.
Most probably.
It's in the making. We have
it's in the making.
Yeah.
All right. And we can send this feedback as well to the product team. Your site stats are uptrending. Clearly, you're on a great path, but how was the uptick in terms of site traffic during the launch? I am not sure.
Maybe 10x or something like that.
Yeah, most probably 10x.
Hmm.
At least in peak points, most probably in that zone.
Right. For sessions, which region audience made the most profit or use case that was picked? Freelancers, marketing agencies, consultants.
I think that so basically our focus is on customer facing sessions. So we have a pretty straightforward market here. From a region perspective, if I'm not wrong, US was the best performing region. Yeah, most probably US was the best performing region. And from a personas perspective, marketing agencies and tech services companies were pretty excited about our offering, but also we had a lot of success with solopreneurs in, say, tech and marketing. Savian can add more on this if I've missed something. Or Alex.
I think it's good.
It's okay.
Alrighty. Love sessions, timely offer on AppSumo. So the bandwidth is an issue for both hosts and end users. Not everyone has high speed. Is there a recommended bandwidth that we need to bring in for a certain number of guests? I'm assuming this will be better with the app.
Yeah, we are doing in the next weeks. We will do a major improvement on our video conferencing provider on our video conferencing service. So yeah, most probably, yeah, in the next few weeks, all of you will notice a hyper big improvement. Also, sessions will work better in low bandwidth environments, but more details we'll have on this when we launch this.
Okay. Jarrett, do you find companies or startups and come up with an offer, or do they find you? What is the percentage?
Yeah, good question. It's a little of both. So we do have a team that is always looking for, exciting tools, new tools releasing. There's probably like 50 different websites and places that we routinely look just to kind of see what's out there. So we do have a team that does outreach if we think there's a fit, and to see if they want to have a conversation, if it's something that they think would be valuable for them. And we also get a ton of inbounds. We get a ton of people applying to be on AppSumo, whether it's applying to be on AppSumo Select, submitting products in the marketplace as a self-listing, both angles, right? People coming to us and also us going out and finding tools. We have some partners come to us, or we reach out to them and they're already familiar with AppSumo. I see a lot of like really good offer structures that the partners have in mind. And I'm like, I literally don't have any changes. Like, that's a perfect deal because they've been on AppSumo for 10 years and they've always thought about launching and they know kind of what works based on what they like to purchase. So love that. But most often I would say we are involved in, hey, this is what we would recommend based on other tools that have launched in a similar category, price points, tiers. It's not really an exact science. It's really more of an art with finding the right structure and how many tiers, what are we including in each tier. So I would say, yeah, probably 80 to 90% of the time, we are presenting what we think or believe would work well based on our experience.
Okay. How did you come up with the LTD idea? Did you do some research, or was it instinct-based?
Is that just the concept of lifetime deal, or? Yeah, I mean, I can't take credit for that. That's a Noah Kagan thing. He started AppSumo like 13 years ago. So he just he loved deals on anything, and he loved software and tech. And I think the first deal he ever ran, I can't tell you if it was a lifetime deal. It was some kind of deal, obviously, but it was with Imgur like 13 years ago. So that went super well. And then he just got really hungry after that and started reaching out to all these different software tools, and just figured out lifetime deals just get people in the door that maybe otherwise would not have tried products out.
Do you still experiment with marketing tactics channels, or have you reached an optimal growth loop and scaled it?
Yeah, I think Savian answered the bit that we do have a recipe and some let's say business as usual channels that work, and keep bringing in new users, but we always experiment. I mean, even inside a channel that works, like let's say Google search ads that work at this point, we do a lot of constant experiments to optimize them and even to expand them towards new users, but actually trying out new channels too. Especially in external communities, we have had a lot of things that haven't worked all the time. So but we constantly experiment to find out new things, and I don't think we'll ever stop.
You have a beta program to test features in the making. You're on mute, Roddy.
We don't have a per se program, although we may set up one. But we are super open to this. So if interested, you could drop us an email and we'll take it from there.
Cool. Is Sessions as a company open for co-marketing activities?
I think Savian also answered this on chat. Yeah, we are open, of course. Let's talk about it.
When was your product hunt launch? Was it side by side with AppSumo or later? And did you promote LTD in product hunt too?
The answer is no. I mean, when was we had several product hunt launches. One in 2021, one in 2022, and one this year. Never matched, never in the same time with the AppSumo campaign, and also we didn't promote through product hunt the LTD. So we didn't mix them.
Are there any combinations of crowdfunding campaigns and all the AppSumo campaigns?
Most probably.
Okay. Do you accept all submissions in AppSumo? How many do you accept and reject regularly?
That's a great question. I wouldn't know the specific percentage, but I could tell you we do not accept all submissions. There's a pretty strict criteria we use, even for self-listings, where we still want to maintain a certain level of quality. So we're still only going to really approve tools that we know our audience wants and that fits in with kind of the use cases and buyer personas that we have. So yeah, I mean, we don't select everything. I don't know the percentage. I would estimate it might be 50-50, maybe a little bit lower approval rating. So we turn down a lot of stuff. And it's not necessarily that it's like something wrong with the tool. Like sometimes it's just like, hey, there's maybe too many of these tools in the store right now, or maybe, just the feature set isn't quite right based on other tools that we've had listed. So we do want to maintain a high level of quality and kind of a minimum sales threshold, even for self-listings.
Right. Our last question is, I know there's a new one. Have you guys been able to work with Stream Alive, a part of AppSumo company? You two together would be magic. No.
We will take a look, but didn't work with them.
Okay, and now here's our last question. Since you mentioned you're a small team, how did you manage customer queries since you got bombarded with them?
I don't sleep.
Exactly. Yeah, we worked hard. But it was worth it. All right. I think that is pretty much it. Thanks so much for joining us, everyone. We would love to invite you to join the sessions community, and we'll post a link in the chat. And also, if any of you are interested in launching on AppSumo, then you can click on this pop-ups button, the Let's Go button, and you can fill in your details, and someone will get back to you in the next few days. All right. But that's pretty much it. Thanks so much for joining me. It was fantastic. and hope everyone have a nice day.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for joining.
Thanks, guys. It was fun.
Yeah. Bye.